Good morning and welcome to my next episode of the Fishing Adventures. Now, it's January and I'm in a t-shirt. Can't be in Europe. Let's have a look back here. Welcome to Gillhams in Thailand. So, here for 5 days. Massive carp to go for here. I'm going to take you on my journey. Quite unique this time, so we're moving swims every single day. So yeah, if we're in a swim that's not so good, next day you could be onto a winner. So we've just arrived, we're just doing all the admin bit, then going to get to the rooms, get the fishing stuff and get straight back out. So I'll catch up with you once we're in the swim, talk through the approach. And just like that, we're fishing. So let's have a quick spin round. You can see where I'm fishing today. This is Sala 3, for those of you that know the lake. So we're doing something quite unique here this week, which I'll try to explain. So it's an exclusive. So it's all one group basically. And we've kind of been paired up with somebody. Paired is, you know, the only reason for is for when we're moving swims. So what's going to happen, we're going to sit in, so I'm in Sala 3. The guy I'm paired up with is in Sala 5, but we're not, you know, there's not a competition, there's nothing going on like that. But what happens tomorrow is then me and him move up to the next 2 available swims. And then the day after that, we move up again. And the day after that, we move up again. So it gives us all a chance of fishing all parts of the lake. Some parts of the lake are fairly species specific. So, for example, if you want an Amazonian redtail, there's a good chance of getting them up there, whereas there may not be such a great chance where I am. So that's the logic. Not done that before. Seems like a good idea, so we'll run with it. So what's happened this morning? Obviously, arrival, admin to do. I've been here a few times before, so meeting up with some old acquaintances as well who work here. Getting the fishing stuff around to the swim, getting everything rigged up. Yeah, always takes a lot longer than it really should. But anyway, so rods are in. To kind of show you what I'm starting with. And probably best if we go in here where I can sit it down and hopefully show you in a bit more detail. Let's get the trusty towel out. So what I've got going on here is I've got the natural magic beans from Parker Baits. Now I've got the 2 different sizes here, so the little small ones and the normal size. So with a size 2 lock hook, that just sinks really slowly. Now if you've seen my previous video here, you'll understand that the way that the Siamese feed here is a little bit different to the carp back home, where they bash into the floor and then swim through the cloud. So you don't want something really heavy that's just going to donk straight back down on the deck again. You kind of want it wafting around. So you need to kind of critically balance these as best you can. Then that's all tied to quite a long length of braid. Now this is probably getting on for 20 inches of braid I've got going on here. Now, the reason that I do that, let's just spin this back round. The reason I do that is because I want that braid a long length of it so it stays wafting up in the air. If you only had a short bit, that is a danger of going up and coming down fairly quickly. So I want it to waft around. And then what we do there is obviously that could potentially prone to tangle. We parachute on a PVA bag with the house pellet and a bit of crumb boilie. I've even got a bit of magic dust going on in there as well, which I'll touch on later. So yeah, that's just a quick intro of where we're at. We're fishing swim is obviously carnage, but we got them in the water. So now it's about making solid bags up, starting to get prepared, keeping an eye on the water, watch for those telltale signs. Things can happen very, very quickly here, and if you're not got enough PVA bags ready, you can run out really quickly. So yeah, I'm going to crack on. PVA bags, we have the double bag here. Again, if I quickly show you one of those, you can see that they are fairly substantial, and that is double bagged. In some parts of the lake, at some times of the year, I will even triple bag. But double bag, full of pellet, and they get parachuted on and then lobbered out. So yeah, that's where we are. I've just had breakfast delivered, which is one of the perks here at Gillhams, is that fishing is from 7 till 7. And basically, if you don't have to, you don't need to leave the swim at all. They'll bring you whatever you want, as long as it's on the menu, steady. So yeah, they'll bring it around, water, food. They'll bring it around for you. So yeah, you don't have to reel in. If you need to nip back to the accommodation quickly, there's a guide nearby that will help out. The guides here are fantastic, and a lot of them have been here for a long time. So it tells you something about the calibre of the people and the guys and girls that run it here. So that's enough waffling from me. I'm going to have my breakfast, and we'll see what the morning brings. So I'm going to let it ride for a little while, and when I feel it's necessary for an update, I'll come back with a bit more of an update. So yeah, watch this space. Right, folks, let's have an update. It's approaching 5 o'clock here now. Still on day one. The rods have just gone back out. Now's the time you definitely want them in the pond. Last 2 hours, the sun's still quite high in the sky, but the heat isn't quite as savage as it was earlier, and it always seems to wake the lake up a little bit. So just redone the rods again. A couple of spoms over the top. I'll give it about another 40 minutes or so, and then I'm going to spom again just to keep it trickling in. Don't need to put 25 kilos in, but you just need to keep it trickling in. So if I spin the camera around, you can see the magnificent view we got going on. We got people, got ground bait balls going out, we got spomming happening. There has been a few fish out now, but if I put you exactly where my kind of rods are, so we're only fishing 13 wraps, so it's not very far at all, but I've seen very little signs of fish activity here. I know this swim. It's one of those swims that can be moody, tends to fish better in the afternoon than it does in the morning, but you never really know, but that's just based on what I remember about the swim. So it hasn't happened for me yet, but we're not too worried about that. So as I said earlier, what will happen tomorrow is that we'll move, me and the guy I'm paired with will move down to the next two swims, which are basically those against those that reed line over the about that bank over the back there, and then we'll fish those tomorrow, and then the day after we'll move around the corner onto Sala 9 and 10, and then the day after that we'll then move across to the other side. So that's how it works. So it does give you a good chance to get a lot of the lake covered, so you can probably see some splashing going on out there. There is some fish showing. Now the alligator gar have been showing quite a lot out there today, although I have seen Julians and I have seen the Siamese jump relatively recently. So the gar are normally fairly high up in the water with their massive teeth, but I'll say there's been a few fish out. I don't know exactly how many, but I think there's been a few now. But I say nothing from here. You can see the activity in front of my swim is unfortunately, no bubblers. So that will be the first sign that you've got of obviously, unless you've got a massive crash, that will be the first sign of fish in the vicinity. But unfortunately, that's not really happened here today. But it's day one. I've been coming to this place for about 9 years, so it's not that I'm doing anything wrong. It's fishing. It's fishing. Considering we've only really fished kind of half a day today because of all of the other bits and pieces that you have to do on arrival. It's certainly nothing to worry about. And because we've got the lake exclusive, every single swim has changed. Whereas normally, if you fish here and you're just here on your own or with a partner or whatever, you'll slot in where somebody else has left. But when there's an exclusive, then the whole lake gets changed. So just saw someone running off into the distance, and it looked like there was a fish. Hopefully caught that on the camera. So you can start to see that in that central body of the fish are starting to be a bit more active. There's people running down to the other end of the lake, which is round the corner around there, which I can't quite see. So there might be some activity happening there as well. So yeah, it looks like it's starting to happen. We'll just keep doing what I know works here, and just keep sending the bait out every sort of 40-45 minutes, and a couple more bombs over the top. If you haven't watched my first film I did here, you may not have noticed this stuff. So this is my mosquito repellent. You can buy it in a 7-Eleven for not a lot of money at all. And I used to get bitten quite a lot here, especially on this side of the lake. But provided I put this on correctly and thoroughly, I now don't get bitten. So and it's for nothing really. £1.50 maybe, I think. I can't remember off the top of my head. Maybe £2 at push. But so leave all your expensive stuff at home. Just bring that. And you get it from 7-Eleven. There is some, especially from the UK, there's Boots the Chemist is here, so you can quite often find them in the chemists as well, but generally the 7-Elevens will have them. So yeah, I've just slopped a load of that on because once it starts cooling down, the creatures of the night will be upon us, and everything tries to eat you here. So. Morning everybody, welcome to day 2 now. Bringing you up to speed with what happened last night. So no action for me, as kind of predicted. So I was in Sala 3, and the person I'm partnered up with, so to speak, was in Sala 5. So we now move up to the next 2 available swims that none of us have fished before. So that puts us in Sala 7 and 8. I think I'm in 7, and that did fish yesterday, so that's a promising start. So I'm here in the accommodation, which I'll take you through in a little while. I was going to film the restaurant last night, but unfortunately it absolutely threw it down with rain. And obviously I didn't want to get everything soaking wet, so we'll try and do that in the next few days. So I've been up since 5. If I keep your wits around there's all the kit ready to go. So I've tied new rigs, I've made bags up, I've made some adjustments from what I learnt yesterday, and we are ready to go this morning. It is currently 6:15. I don't really like you being in the swim before 6:30, so I'm just having a cup of coffee, and I'm going to go and sit outside. It's still fairly dark at the moment, but it gets light quite quickly here. So just to show you some of the stuff that we got here. So this is actually the back room, which will convert into another bedroom should you require. I think I can get another 2 people sleeping in, or maybe on single beds. So TV, fridge, air conditioning, fan, lights, curtains. Obviously, you're not going to be able to see much outside at the moment. It's only just starting to get light. As we go through here, we have bathroom. Hopefully, there's none of my crusty old underwear sitting around anywhere. So, with shower facilities over there. Yeah, looking like I need some kind of beauty treatment at the moment. And here is the main bedroom. Let's see if I can turn the light on so you can actually see what's going on here. So yeah, so we've got a TV up there, air conditioning there, fan there, plenty of lights, plenty of charging, loads of storage. Even though these cupboards at the top look quite small, I've actually got my suitcase right tucked up in there. So yeah, you can get all your stuff put away. They do laundry here. There's the rules that you have to read. And well, unfortunately, what you're not going to be able to see, I'll try and keep my voice down because it is still early. You may just start to see the first embers of light as the lake wakes up. So yeah, I'm just going to let that get a little bit lighter. I keep my voice down because of it. I'm sure not everybody's an idiot like me and gets up in the middle of the night, but I still have that. Small boy mentality when it comes to fishing. I just get too excited about it. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's the accommodation. You've got a little veranda outside, but yeah, so it tips it down with rain. So having a hit of oxygen is always good for the lake. So we'll see how that transpires tomorrow. So after I got back from the restaurant, I literally went. I had one beer. I had my dinner, which is a good, healthy choice of menu here. European and Thai, if you want to keep it local. So I literally had my dinner and one drink, and then I came back to the room. I made up new bags. I made up new rigs. I went to bed, absolutely hanging yesterday. So I went to bed before 10 o'clock. I set the alarm clock for 5 o'clock, went to bed. The next thing I knew, the alarm's going off at 5 o'clock. So I slept really well. So I say just going to have a cup of coffee. So plan of action today is we'll get to the swim, so you can see everything's pretty much ready to go there now. That's almost everything. Get to the swim. I already know that I'm going to be fishing at 17 wraps. That's I suppose the only downside to moving swim every day is you've always got to understand what the people were doing beforehand. You know, I don't believe you build spots here because of the amount of fish and the size of them. There's no way that any bait that was put in yesterday is still in that pond now. I can't believe it. I think everything would have been hoovered up. So yeah, they were fishing at 17 yesterday and had a couple. So that will be my starting point today. So I've made bags, I've made rigs. They're literally all I've got to do is loop them on as soon as I get around there. Once they're wrapped up. So the first thing I'll try to do is I'll try to spom first, probably half a dozen spoms over where each rod's going to be. And then I'll leave it alone for half an hour while I'm getting all the rest of the other stuff done. And then it'll be time to go into the pond at 7 o'clock. So that's always a good hint for a quick bite here. If you saw my last video I did here when I was still learning how to work all this new contraption, you'll notice, well, certainly on the second swim that I went to, getting a quick bite was, and that was in Sala 9, which will be in 9 and 10. So we're in 7 and 8 today. So tomorrow we'll be in 9 and 10. Right, so here we are, 10 o'clock in the morning. Just finished breakfast and just redone the rods again. So I've done a few casts today. Normally when I'm here I like to cast every hour with a new bag, new baits. So I've got always got like a dozen or so bags made up, and the rigs that come out the water last then hang up to dry until I'm nearly ready to recast. So I've got another 2 hanging up behind me. I thought I'd keep the camera on the rods just in case anything happens. Wind's picked up a little bit now. I'm starting to see some activity over the spot as well, so a bit longer here today, here at 17 wraps as opposed to the 14 or 15 that I was at yesterday, so a little bit further out, but it's a bit awkward with these rods because they've got such a short handle on them. With my great wingspan, short handles don't really work well with me, but no, we just have to remember my lessons with Mr. Edmonds, and we can make it all work. So they're back out. They're not right on top of each other, but they're reasonably close to each other. So you can afford to be a little bit wayward with a spom. But I see people spomming the life out of the place here. I think accuracy will always accuracy will always beat quantity, I think. So I just make sure that mine are accurate. So yeah, recasting about every hour at the moment, both rods, and then in the half-hour interval. So obviously, say for example, I've just recast them and it's 10 o'clock. So at 10:30, I'll then put another few spoms in, and then at 11 o'clock, I'll redo the rods again, and then 11:30, I'll do the spomming. So it's just a constant trickle of bait. Fish are massive in here. We are lucky to see some today. You'll understand that our little solid, even what we think is quite a big PVA bag from a pellet, it's actually just a mouthful for them. So even putting half a dozen spoms in is absolute nothing at all. So, but I don't believe it's worth absolutely lumping it in. I think take the old matchman approach of little and often. So that tends to work for me here. So yes, it seems to be a fairly quiet morning. There's a lot less fish activity to see on the water this morning. It's noticeably cooler today, but the clouds are starting to shift now. And there's a little bit of a wind, but it is definitely cooler today. So whether that's transpired to be a cold morning for the fish, don't know. I'm expecting things to pick up as the day heats up. So we're still only 10 o'clock in the morning. So there's no, and I've already had more liner activity than I had for the entire time yesterday. So there's definitely fish about. So yeah, it's for me. It's just about repeating the process. I'll try and capture that. Certainly the spomming at 10:30 won't be anything exciting. So let's just take you back over here, and you can see that I've got a couple of rigs up here drying off. We've got a couple of rigs here ready to go. And then I've got in my bag down here, I've got another load of PVA bags already made up. So it is about being prepared here. So these will be the next 2 in the pond. Then once they go in the pond, I'll then double check these 2 out. That one's not actually one of mine. And that one's a bit too long, so it works out as the rigs on those rods will come in. I'll take them off and I'll hang them up to dry, and then once these go out, these ones will then get solid bags threaded onto them, and then they'll go into this position. The little whistles, not because I want to be a sailor, it's sorry Mike Payne, it's so to attract the attention of the guides, they give you a whistle, but unfortunately just random people blowing whistles doesn't actually help the guides know where you are. So it's just best to shout out the swim number, but there's loads of people here, and when you hook something, it's not coming in quickly, so you've got plenty of time. So so that's the 10 o'clock update. not much else to report really. As I say, it's fish activity wise, it's a lot quieter on the pond today, and I noticed that this morning when I was out just watching the water, having my morning coffee. Not much fish activity. You can normally tell before 7 o'clock, around about 6:30, come down to the lake and see how much of a dolphin show is happening. If there's not much of a show, then it might be a little bit slow getting started. So, and there was hardly anything showing, and you can see as I pan the water now, you can see that there's nothing actually going on. You've got a couple of, that over there is an aerator, and there's another one over there. Although there is looking like some fizzing going on over there, which is just slightly to the left of, there's a alligator gar just up on, just below the surface, which is probably what I saw. So yeah, that's where we are. I say different day today, a lot cooler. We don't get the sun over here until the afternoon. You can see a fairly dappled shade at the moment, so it's quite cool. I've had breakfast, so yeah, it's just going to be sit down, keep an eye on the water, watch out for those fizzing telltales, and hopefully one of these will slowly lurch into action in the not too distant future. So yeah, that's the update for now. I'll be back a bit later, hopefully with some fish activity, because nobody wants to see a video of me just waffling on. So here we go. Okay, back soon. And good morning and welcome to Wednesday. Right, let's give you an update from yesterday. So, no more action in the swim. So I just had that one run, which unfortunately fell off. Did the same as usual, went to the restaurant. It's Thai buffet tonight, so I'll take the camera tonight so you can see that kind of jazz. And went back to the room, made some bags and rigs as per standard. Did all my bits and pieces. Went to bed before 11 o'clock, which was good. I forgot to switch my alarm on. And I woke up this morning. I was like, why is it light outside? And then realised that the alarm hadn't gone off or anything like that. And yeah, about 30 minutes I've lost, so not a complete disaster. It's not like I woke up at 10 o'clock in the morning or something like that, but so I've hurried round to the swim. So we're new swim today, we're in 9 and 10, I'm in 10, a quick spin round here, just making some running repairs to that right hand buzzer. Now there were 3 rods here this morning when I arrived, so not one to look at gifts in the mouth. I decided to use those 3 rods. So whether it'll make any difference or not, I don't know. If it's not fishing this place, it's not fishing. But so yeah, I've been hearing a number of the lads went out last night. The lake is very quiet this morning, and mainly all the people that were due to fish this side. So they all went out, came home at 5 o'clock this morning. So won't be seeing much of those today. So at the moment, I have no next door neighbour, and I don't think there's many people down this bank. So anyway, let me get this buzzer repaired and getting up to speed. I'll come back to you with a bit more detail about how we're going to approach today, and then we'll go on from there.
No, don't do that. It's going to snap. It's fucking... Ooh. Right, is that still on? Right, we've got some in here. $10. Right, we have it. First fish of the trip. Not big by any stretch of the imagination, but a welcome sight nonetheless. So here's the rig. Let's get that rig out of the way. Right, so let's recap on a rather bizarre morning. So firstly, my inability to switch an alarm clock on. That meant I didn't wake up until 7 o'clock, let alone start fishing. So luckily I got everything ready last night, so I was able to get to the swim and have all 3 rods in the water by 8 o'clock. So didn't impact me too much, but haven't done much bombing or anything like that. Then I get a weird kind of run thing that you may have just picked up on the video. Sometimes the fish pick up a bait here and don't realise they're hooked, and then just carry on their merry little way, just mopping bait up. So yeah, I don't think it particularly knew it was hooked, and that was a really good bit of fortune because there was a problem with the line wrapped on the spool. So I needed a few seconds just to deal with that, and I don't think the fish knew it was hooked at that time. So once I finally got to wind down onto the fish, it soon understood what the task was. So and off it went. So got that in. Ate about 80 pounds. So they got a way of calculating weights here without having to physically lift every fish out of the water. So they'll measure the length, they'll measure the girth, and do a calculation, and so and it does. I caught a lot of fish here, so I would have put that fish at around 80-90 pounds. So and it worked out around 80. So it sounds about right. Unfortunately, when I went to lift it, the fish then decided to kick, and I hadn't pushed the net far enough in front of me. So unfortunately, it went on its merry little way without a photograph. But it's not the end of the world. I say 80 pounds. It's only a small one. Yeah, hopefully that won't be the only activity of the day. Good start. Quiet everywhere else, I say, but my neighbour has just arrived, so I shall hear the stories of the antics of last night in our name, no doubt later on. So yeah, just redone the rods. I've just tied up a load of bags. Quick look at the rig that did the bite. As I said before, size 2 Cassine hook. I could just unwrap it a little bit. It's got a Parker Baits black natural bean on there with a yellow magic bean on there. So yes, they're both wafters, but they're the hook's still heavy enough for the hook to sit on the deck and those baits to be wafting above. So that's what done me the bite. So I've got 3 fresh rigs out in the pond now, whilst these are obviously the 3 rigs of the these are the 3 rigs that's just come in. So what will happen is I'll dry those out. Once they're dry, I'll then thread on new bags, and they'll be ready to go in the pond. So again, that preparation bit is key here, just to because when you catch a fish, all your rods are coming in. So if you've only got 1 or 2 bags tied up, you can get through 6 bags very, very quickly here. So yeah, it's always worth keeping a good supply. So I'm going to carry on tying some bags. So I've got probably a dozen, 15 of them ready, 16, something like that. And we'll see how the day's action unfolds. As you can see, we are at Sala 10. Now, not that you've been able to see it much, but there, right down the end now, you can see the restaurant down near the end. So we've been round this corner in Sala's 3 to 8, basically, the last 2 days. I'm glad to be out of there. I've never been a fan of it down there, and I've never been particularly confident of it down there. Some people like it. 9 and 10, absolutely love. Not fast with either one. Both of them do bites. You can see the old paddle going there, just generating oxygen. So my left-hand rod is fishing out to the corner. Not as far as the corner because of the trees overhanging. And there's a Siamese just pops its head out there, and that is pretty much right on my middle rod, that one. And then my right-hand rod, which is the rod that went, is on that old tree over there. It's probably not an old tree, it just doesn't have many leaves on it, so it looks like it's dead if we were in the UK, but we're not. So yeah, that's the position. 13 wraps, so nice easy fishing today, no big hoofs. Yeah, and it's good to get off the mark. This is the last swim on this bank, basically. So it starts with Sala 1 and Sala 2 round the front by the restaurant. Then you've got 3 to 8 that are set back, 9 and 10 that are here. And then the next swim is all the way around the other side. You can eat a bit further up from what you can see there. So that's where we'll be tomorrow. Right, so here we are. It's now lunchtime on 1 o'clock on Wednesday. My next door neighbour is just the final throes of catching a fish down there. So now we think we've got a few fish in front of us between these 2 swims. What we're going to do is we're going to go rod for rod. So if you don't know what that means, basically it means we're going to take it in turn to catch a fish out of either swim. So as you can see, he's in the final throes of catching one down there. So the next time any one of the rods in my swim or in his swim goes, I'm going to go for that fish. I will take that rod and I will land that fish. Once I've landed that fish and that's returned, then it all goes back to him again. So then he has 2 swims and 2 opportunities. So we're going to basically take it in turns catching fish out of 2 swims. It's a fun way of maximising the chances, and it means that you get a bit more downtime as well. You can help out. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. So I'm just going to wait for him to finish this fish. Probably I'll point the camera there while I'm talking. So just ordered lunch. As I say, it's about 1 o'clock. Just ordered lunch, and I'm just going to wait until this fish is in, and then I'm going to redo the rods. There's also another fish being played over there, which is maybe a chow pariah, because he's been on that for a little while now. So what I don't want to do is recast, and then that fish comes motoring over here and I have to bring the rods back in again. That would be a complete pointless. So I'm just going to leave the rods out until I know that fish across the other side of the pond is almost won, and then I can recast. As I say, so that one, just see at the end there, it doesn't look massive, to be honest with you, even though that does look massive, but it's not in comparison. So that's safely in the net. So as I say, the guy over here now playing one, so I want to see that a lot closer to the bank before I reel in and recast, because I don't want it to, because it's more than capable of the fish in here are more than capable of going all the way down to the restaurant if they wanted to. So having a fish from someone that's almost opposite me, it's quite easy for that fish to come charging over here. So I don't want that to happen when I just recast. So that's what we're going to do. Super, cheers, buddy. Right, make sure I'm all switched on. Yep. Right, so well, that's worked out quite well for me, as you can see. I was just sitting there, stuffing my face, and my charitable neighbour, and that feels like I've got line, so I might be in trouble with one of my other rods in a minute. Let's get down low. The fish are powerful, especially on these early runs. Oh, it's unhappy. Well, he's going to run out of room in a minute because he'll hit the bank. So. Oh. Okay, let's just get him turned round. They're coming back now. It's a question of making hay while sun shines, because you'll get some energy back again in a minute. Give me them. Wicked, thank you. We'll try. I was going to say we're going to try and get the whole fight on, but as you can see, these fish are very powerful, and it doesn't take much for them to start undoing all the good work you've done trying to bring it back. So what we'll do is we'll cut off there, and I'll come back hopefully once we put this in the net. We on? Okay, 14 hours later, beating Tom Dove's record. No, only joking. Getting towards the end now, but still very powerful. We've had a look at it. It's Siamese. I don't think it's as big as 100, but we'll let the experts decide that once we get it in. And we might be nearly there. Come on. Easy that, don't know what all the fuss is about. Right, we'll come back once we've got a run hooked, and we'll have a little video of the pickup. So we just put that fish back, and the beauty of this type of arrangement, if you like, is that, look, literally as soon as I got back to my rods, my middle one went. So I got the last fish, so it's back out now over to my partner. Even though it's on my rods, this is how we work in 2 swims together as a team, and he then gets the fish next, and then after this one's come in, I then get the next fish. So that way we can hopefully build a bit of a hit between us and both enjoy some good fish. So that last one was 126. Hopefully this will be a bit over £100. If we can get a few £100-pounders going, that'll be a good afternoon. It's a much better afternoon. There seems to be a couple of swims doing fish now, probably 3 swims constantly doing fish. So we're just going to nip back and get a bit more bait, because we need to keep this going to maximise our opportunity. So back again once we're reset up. Right, update. It's 3:30. Just ordered a strawberry milkshake, standard. So we are in control of 3 rods here. Just trundle down here. We are also in control of 3 rods down here as well. So obviously, as you can tell, it's I'm up for the next fish. So the guy who I'm sharing with, he's just gone back to get some more bait. So we shall wait and see. So it's been quite fair, really. So we've had 4 fish now between us, 2 each. So it's worked out quite nicely. Biggest one, I think the biggest one I had one. I had one 126 pounds, and he followed that up shortly afterwards with one from 120. So 2 nice 100-pounders. They've got they don't weigh physically every fish here, but they've got a calculation that they've worked out using length and circumference of the fish. So you can very quickly, and it's pretty accurate. So you can work out fairly quickly and fairly painlessly for the fish what the weight's going to be. So yeah, a couple of 120-pounders is good. We've got time for a 150? I think so. So I was just saying, I was hoping for 1 or 2 more, and shortly after this, my right-hand rod again, off it went. I've just been doing a little bit of knitting as we've got ourselves into this corner. Just need to keep low because of the trees and the other rods. This is another Siamese. I believe this one is on, again, natural bean wafter with a little yellow magic bean on top as well. So effectively 2 wafters, but because of the size 2 hook, it's not too buoyant. I think it's particularly big, but I said that about the last one, so I'll just keep my mouth shut this time. Come over here so I can get some height on the rod once it's nearby. Ah, it wasn't. Snowman again. I can see another washed out pink pop up. Right, so just putting together the last bits on this rig to go back into the pond again. So the old snowman rig seems to be working a treat at the moment. So I think all bar one of my runs have come on that little setup. So it's effectively a house boilie. When I say a house boilie, it's just when you come here at Gillhams, you get a supply of bait for the duration that you're here for. So basically you get one bag of these per day. Just not particularly hard, not particularly soft, but nice smell to them. So obviously the fish are used to them, so I use one of those. And my ever faithful washed out pink OG fish, 12 mils. There's not many places I don't catch with them, so put those two together, house boilie, and a bait that I'm really confident in, and it's doing bites. So the last final straw is just to grab one of my PVA bags. I'm going to have to start making some again in a minute. And what we're going to do is we're going to thread that needle all the way through. pop it on there. Get that latch closed and pull that through. Okay, and there we have it. And then that gets looped onto the base of the lead, and out she goes, the 13 rats. So hopefully go and snare another one. So I'm going to get the rod wrapped up and pop it back out. Strawberry milkshake has arrived, and it's still time for more fish. Good news. Right, good evening. So back in the room now. No more, so 3 fish today, which, considering the last couple of days, that's a marked improvement. On the move again tomorrow, so grasses tomorrow, so I think we'll leave the Siamese alone, and I'm gonna target 2 very colourful species tomorrow: the Amazonian redtail and the Julian's prize golden carp. So those are going to be the targets. The guide is Yut, an old friend, so I'm looking forward to spending the day with him, trying to get a couple of fish on the bank and in front of the camera for you guys. So I'm just off down to the restaurant now. I'm going to take the camera with me, and providing that there's not too many people that object to me shoving a camera in wandering around, so I'll try and get a bit of a video of the delicious food that is going to be served tonight, because it's Thai buffet night, so looking forward to this one. So let's go down to the restaurant. Right, so as I said, buffet night here in Thailand, so let's come and have a look and feast your eyes on all of this stuff. Way more than I can manage to eat, but I'm going to try a little bit of everything. There is all the symbols down here, and a few homemade prawn crackers, and a bit more spice if that's your way. So yeah, that's buffet night. So you can see we're sat here in the outside seating area here, as opposed to the air-conditioned restaurant inside. So I'm just gonna put the camera away now and stuff my face. Morning everyone, and welcome to Thursday. So here I am in the swim known as the Grasses, which is basically a quiet little end. If I spin the camera around, you can see the main part of the lake there. The restaurant's around the corner. So what we're going to do today is we're going to target Julian's and Amazonian redtails. Now, if I just show you the Julian's rig, is very simple. It's a bit more like carp fishing back at home. Little 6-inch single boilie, and I've got down there. I've got a bit of meat, which we're gonna flick down to there. Later on today, we'll venture out under the overhanging trees over there. But for now, I'm just going to ping a Julie rod out towards the paddle, about 3/4 of the way across, and then just flick some luncheon meat just down here for the redtails. So I'm going to get that done, and then need to sort out the swim because that's a mess again. And we'll see what the morning brings. So I'm not packing up and going home. Just had the Amazonian redtail, but it's better to photograph in this swim here. So Yut's just bringing it down now in the net. It's all been unhooked. It's a good one. So let me just nip back and get my camera. Right, so there we have it. The Amazonian redtail. There is another redtail species in this lake, and it's one more native to the country. Obviously, the Amazonian redtail is not native to Asia. But we do have the Asian redtail, which is tends to be a little bit longer, a little bit more slender. Yeah, not an unpleasant catfish. There are some very unpleasant looking catfish, but so yeah, Amazonian redtail is always a big favourite, and they're really calm out the water. The Asian redtail is a good one to tick off. I've had a number of those here over the years. So we are at 12 o'clock now. So a productive morning with 50% of the species now ticked off. It's just the difficult one to go. So there are Julians around. So I'm not giving up any hope whatsoever of not getting one. I mean, we've always got the little lake. There's plenty of little ones in there, but got the liners have started again already. So yeah, the Julians now would be the icing on the cake, and that would be job done. But sometimes they can be difficult to catch. I know people that come here for a week just to target Julians and caught none. So yeah, if they don't want to play ball, they won't. So at 12 o'clock we had one of our target species ticked off. 25 past 12, number two's just turned up, the Julians. It's not a massive one, but you'll get to see why people love these fish and the crazy little man that helps me catch them. So yeah, we're just going to pop the camera down and check out this stunning view.
Hello Thailand, land of smiles so bright, golden temples glow in the sunlight, island breezes, turquoise seas, your beauty calls, it's all I need. Hello Thailand, oh so divine, your culture and spirit, end of day shine. Hello Thailand, land of delight, where dreams are weekend under the night, 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 where dreams are weekend under the night. Hello Thailand, land of smiles so bright, golden temples glow in the sunlight, island breezes, turquoise seas, your beauty calls, it's all I need. Hello Thailand, oh so divine, your culture and spirit, end of the shine. Hello Thailand, land of delight, where dreams are weekend under the night, where dreams are weekend under the night, where dreams are weekend under.
So that's the Julians. Now you can see why they are so sought after here. Absolute stunning fish. Weighs around 30 pounds, maybe a little bit under that one. They go to twice that size in here. So it's a fairly small one, but it's been a little while since I caught one of those. So really, really happy to have ticked that off. And even happier now, I've managed to get it on the camera. So let's get the rods back out, because as I say, it's only 12:30ish now, and we've still got another 6.5 hours to get some bigger ones. Come on, the big girls. Right, folks, it's now approaching 1:15. That was something's hold on a minute, something has just emerged from the water. So yeah, it's just about 4:15 now. Haven't had anything since mid-July. Even though I've ticked off the 2 species I wanted to catch today, kind of greed takes over, and you want them a bit bigger and a bit nicer, and I don't know. There's still PBs to be done here. So my biggest Amazonian redtail's 85, and my biggest Julian's is 45. Now the Amazonian, it's going to be a tough ask, to be honest with you, to beat 85. That's a very good fish. My Julian's is very, very beatable. There are fish in excess of 70 pounds here. I think 72 is the biggest one. So my measly 45 from a few years ago is still very achievable. But nevertheless, it was nice to tick those 2 species off. So the plan is, as the plan has been really, is that we'll stick the rest of the day here, see if we can't nick 1 or 2 more from down in the corner, and then that'll be us done for the main lake. If I quickly whizzed round, you can see that there's hardly a breath of wind on there now. So yeah, this will be my last day on the main lake. So tomorrow morning we'll have a bit of a lie-in, not much, because I still like to fish the mornings, and we'll nip up to the little lake, and we'll have a little dabble up there to see what we can find there. Pacu is almost guaranteed. And we'll see what else we can rustle up in a few hours up there, and then we'll do a bit of work, camera work on the grounds, show you some of the other bits and pieces going on here, like the cookery school, the massage place, the stock pond. The stock pond is always a chuckle. So yeah, we'll have a bit more of a wander round tomorrow, seeing various other aspects of the complex. In case you've watched this and you can now no longer bear to be apart from this tropical paradise, it's so nice here. As you can probably hear in the background, we have some weird bird chirping away in the background, and that's it. It's all I can hear. It's absolutely lovely, one of my favourite places on earth to be. So yeah, we'll be back again soon. Don't know when yet, but got to go back and earn some money to get back here. So yeah, got lots to do, got carp shows to do, got another trip to France coming. So Domaine de Bouillard is part 2, Domaine de Bouillard part 2 is coming up. So will that be as eventful as the last one, or will it be a washout? Will it? Oh, who knows? It could be we could hit it just right. So yeah, lots coming up. Obviously, I won't film the carp shows, but I will be in attendance, and then it will be Domaine de Bouillard, and we've got a few other bits and pieces coming up. Some stuff with Parker Baits, which I'm looking forward to doing. So plenty more fishing to be done before the cold and miserable winter is in the UK is out. So yeah, that's it. That's the afternoon roundup from me. That's what we're going to do. So I might catch up with you later on if I get anything else. If not, I shall catch up with you in the morning after a lie-in and a nice cup of, can't be called coffee, hot brown. Cup of hot brown and a little bit of a lie-in. If we don't have any more fish today, we'll catch up again in the morning. And good morning and welcome to Friday, last day, and welcome to the little lake. Bit of an algae bloom on here this morning, but that shouldn't affect the fishing at all. So I've got myself a rod, which is obviously a lot lighter than the rods used on the main lake. Just going to stick a rig on, hook on a little PVA bag, see what's starving. Pacu. Definitely a pacu on the cards here. So yeah, going to get that rigged up. I could just hear, see the jungle up there. I could just hear in the distance some of the wild gibbons singing. There's a bit too much noise going on to pick it up on the camera, but yeah, I can hear the gibbons singing up in the jungle there, so which that's my kind of place to be. Right, so I'm going to spend a couple of hours here, see what we can get here. Then the boys and girls here at Gillham are very kind. Normally checkout is at 11 o'clock, but because we're on a exclusive week, there's nobody else coming now till Monday, and it's Friday, so they've let me use the room for the rest of the day, which is a bit of a godsend. So it means I can shower just before leaving here at about 3:15. So so the plan is get a rig on quick, plop it out, see how many of the weird and wonderful species we can catch here. Then I'll take a little tour around the lake, show you some of the other sights and sounds here before we wrap up and head back to Bangkok. So let's get this rod rigged up and I'll come back for the first cast, because sometimes the action can be very, very quick here. So let's get something rigged up. Right, very simple wafter PVA with some boilie in it. Let's just pop that there for a second. All I'm going to do with this now is literally just going to flick it down in there. Right, so I just brought that rig back in and something's been munching on that with some teeth, Baku. So now I've made up something a little bit smaller, so just a little, I think, a tiger nut gooed up dumbbell there, little bag of pellets. So it's like fishing in the other lake, but in miniature. So we'll just pop that there for a second while I flick this. It's hot today. Not sure how hot it is, but I've had a couple of overcast days, so it's not felt quite as hot, but today's a bit more punishing. And then all I'm going to do is just flick it down the edge there. Add on. Bait runner on. Oh, and we're in. See, that doesn't take long. Shaking its head like crazy. Will it be the inevitable Pacu? Let's get the rather prehistoric looking landing net that is made of metal and is weighs a ton and red hot. What's it gonna be? Can't see through the murk just yet. It's approaching the surface, and it is, who knows? Obviously these are only little small fish, and it's fairly solid gear that we're fishing them with, so we don't want to be too aggressive, because that's just no good for the fish. Oh, it looked like a pacu. It looked like a pacu. Right, let's turn the mat over, because obviously it's only needs to be in the sun for about 5 seconds to be red hot. Now, if it is a pacu, which it does look like it, these guys have got teeth. They have a lower set, not too dissimilar to ours. Obviously not as many, but teeth nonetheless. So yeah, you want to bring a pair of pliers here if you can. You don't want to be going home minus a digit or two. And yes, it is a pacu. This is the heaviest landing net in the universe. Come on, fella. Head. No. And it's in the net. Right. Let's just get a bit of line off of there. So we are going to need quite sure how this is going to work, but so here we have Mr. Pacu, and I don't know if you can see, but he has teeth along the bottom there. So let me just try and get this out with the pliers. The trouble is this, while he's shaking, and this is the problem that you have, while he's shaking, that's an 80-pound braid, and that's just gone straight across his teeth, and that's the end of that. So it got bitten off. So if I lift the net up, you can see there, Mr. Pacu. Now I'm not going to try not to touch him too much. It's ridiculously hot, so just tip the net out. We're not going to be breaking any records with him. So, and back he goes. So my predictions of Mr. Pacu being first on the scene is correct. So yeah, that rig was in the water, what, 30 seconds, and now I've got to tie another one. So we'll crack on. I'm going to whip another rig together, same bait, exactly the same, and plop it back out on that spot again. See if there's more Pacu to destroy my kit. Right, here we go. Fish 3, take 3, cast 3, whatever you want to call it. So let's that's that. Yeah, I'm going to tighten up that. I don't want that super aggressive overspinning of the reel again. and we're away. And we're away. Yeah, I think that just goes to show you that that first quick fish was not a fluke. Or if it was, certainly the second and the third one will show that it's not particularly challenging here. But it's a good place to bring the kids. If you think the fish in the main lake are a bit too much for them, but you want them to have a little go, then ideal place to come. I think we may have Pacu number 3. But it feels a slightly better fish. Either that or he's just really strong because he's eating all the mud pellets. It does feel a better one. Yeah, you don't want to play them too hard. As I say, they have got a lot of teeth in them. And if you're forever changing the rod angle or pulling too hard, all you're doing is just potentially grating that line across their teeth. So yeah, we just take it nice and easy. But it's a good bit of sport, as I say. Wives, girlfriends, children, anyone who's not really fished before and is a bit terrified by the size of the fish in the main lake, which is understandable, to be fair, then bring them over here. If the main lake's quiet, ask for a rod to come over here. They'll only give you one. You only need one, as you've clearly seen. But yeah, if you're looking to get somebody into fishing or someone just fancies a go, bring them over here. Ask for a rod, bring them over here. As I say, it's not very difficult at all to catch them. If you can't catch fish here in the little lake, sell all your stuff and take up ping pong. Because yeah, you should be able to catch in here. It's definitely a better fish. It feels a lot better. Is it a Pacu? Don't know, haven't seen it yet. I must admit he's kind of fighting like one, so I'm expecting to see a silvery slab. Any time now. Okay, getting close to. Yes, it's a Pacu. No, it doesn't want to come. Not ready. Not ready. Come on, old fella. The longer this goes on, and you going round and round in circles, I know exactly what's going to happen. Is that you're going to shear that bloody hook link, aren't you? Head up. Oh. Oh. It appears to be in quite deep. Right. Pacu number 947. There are a lot of Pacu in here, and they tend to be the first ones to rock up on a spot. So, yeah, if you're coming up here, yes, you will catch Julians, and I think there's even some little Siamese and some chow pariah in here, and tilapia, and all sorts. I think some giant gouramis in there as well. But unfortunately, the Pacu tend to be the first ones that turn up. So you're gonna see a few of these. And there we go. Slightly bigger one. Right, put the camera down. Try and get the hook out. Right, back soon. Right, so as promised, back in the room now after Paku City. So let's go and take a lap around the complex, and I can point out some of the other stuff that goes on here. So let's leave the lovely air-conditioned room. We'll go out the back of the property. So let's just nip out here. She'll lock the door, but most people here, so like anybody's going to take your stuff here. So let's go out the back of the property now. So as you can see, there's a crazy man over there, and the lake, as you can see, literally at the bottom of the steps. Now you're not always lucky to be able to fish the swim at the bottom of your steps. So, but occasionally you are, and so the morning commute is not too stressful at all. So here we are on the veranda, if you like, and what we're going to do is we're going to walk out the back. So running up the back of the property, let's see all the air conditioning units, etc., is an access road. So when you arrive here, they'll take your suitcases off you, and they'll run you up. They'll run them up here for you by golf buggy. They've got some little stock ponds over the back there. Trees here are amazing. Swimming pool there, so probably best if I don't point the camera at people at the swimming pool. So yeah, you've got two pools here. This is the kind of public one, if you like. You have a quick peek here because there's no one in this bit, but I don't want to put the camera on. People, so you can come and relax here in the pool. And then there's another pool at the villa, and there's for the child in your life. There's even a little play area here as well. So we'll carry on walking. Look at the view. We'll carry on walking. So basically, we're walking around the back of the accommodation apartment blocks. There's another stock pond that's been drained down this one. So maybe some big plans for this particular stock pond. I know they're looking to get some of these juliens really pushing on, but they'll need to keep them out of the main lake to start with. So yeah, so you can see behind me, it's just an access road, so they come up here with a golf buggy, drive you to your accommodation, drop your bags off, so you don't need to drag them all the way around here. That's the boundary there. There's another property on the other side of that, not connected with the lake. So yeah, still running parallel with the lake, as you can see. So yeah, even in the evening, sometimes it's nice just to walk along this one. And then we'll get to the bottom, and then we'll rejoin the main path. But effectively, all that I've done is I've not walked past everybody that's fishing, just so I can talk over this. And we'll head down towards the restaurant, and then we're going to go past the restaurant. We're going to come back to the restaurant later. You've seen the restaurant already. So what we're going to do is we're just going to walk all the way around. You can see we've now rejoined the main footpath. You can see with the outside seating area through there. So yeah, we've seen the restaurant, and we saw that outside seating area the other night when we had the Thai buffet. So no need to revisit that again. So I shall wander around. Now, what they don't like you doing here is cutting through the restaurant. So we'll walk round through the car park at the back. You see here, so we have like the office in the front here, then we have a shop, then you can see the restaurant there, and that's obviously the inside restaurant, and then you go through there and out to the outside seating area. some very unripe coconuts up there. Now they have new vehicles. This white one is the new one. So yeah, when you're picked up from the airport or from wherever you're being picked up from, yes, it's got a red number plate on which denotes a new vehicle. So so you can see that they have all their own sign-written air-conditioned vehicles to come pick you up with. There's the golf buggy, it's a small digger. Sure, that's not for general use. So yeah, they'll drop all your stuff around, and then we've got kind of staff cars here. Kitchen is here, which has been slightly extended recently, giving a bit more space in there. Then we can see what we're doing now is we're going around the back of the outside seating area. So this is where the Thai buffet was day before yesterday, and then you can start to see the stock ponds appearing. So we've got one here, and then there's another there's another one round the back. Now I've tried to in my pocket I've got a few pellets, so we'll see if we can feed a couple of it's the second one which is the best one. So over here we have Thai cookery school. It will be locked, so I won't be able to go in and physically show you, but we have Thai cookery school here, where you can make and eat your own Thai food. Obviously that would be supervised by one of the guys and girls who work in the kitchen here. And before I sort of whiz the camera around, just make sure no one was in there having a massage, because that would be slightly inappropriate as well. So, and then you can book a massage here, and then you can sit. Once you've had your lovely massage, you can sit out here and watch people not catch very much, or catch some, depending on how lucky you are. So, yeah, it's not a bad old place to be, is it? In terms of a fishing location, and then continuation of the gardens out here. Let's have a quick look here. And again, another seating area. So when you go to the cookery school, which is there, you can then arrange to actually come here and eat the food that you've cooked. And if you're not very good at cooking, the hospital's not too far away. I'm joking, you're well supervised. Supervised when the cookery school is off and running. So yeah, and here we can have some more of the. I remember a lot of the plants of these going in, so it's nice to come back and see how they've grown up. Some of them have grown up quite a lot, actually, even in a short period of time. So, right, so that's the cookery school and the massage. We've already seen this. So there's one of the stock ponds here. There is some. You can just see some arapina over there. But what we're going to do, we're going to go and have a look on this one over here. If not, we'll go back to those ones. But another stock pond here. Now this is normally where there are some larger creatures, shall we say. So normally what happens, just kind of come and stand by the edge. And something may appear. Don't actually know what's in here at the moment. Polarizing sunglasses on, I can't actually see anything at the moment, so it may be we go back to the other one. Obviously when we got fishes of this nature,
You need stock ponds to keep a good supply of fish. Should you get some casualties, now you can see sat over there appears to be quite a few arapaima. Now in my pocket there's a few little pellets, so what we'll do, and when I've spotted them, we'll go back round. So the pellet that you get here at Gillhams, as I said before, you're given a little supply. Now they're quite small. They've changed the pellet in the last couple of years. You think, well, that's not really going to make much of an impact for these big fish. So what we'll do, we'll just wander around with one of these little pellets, and let's see exactly what an impact of this little pellet will have on these fish. Now, you may be able to see them now. So we have quite a large one here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just drop this pellet in down here. Gone. So let's do that again so you can see there's a few. Sorry? Are you fishing? Yeah. And lining? Yeah. No lining? No lining. So again, boom, gone. You see how quickly they'll snaffle these pellets, even just dropping them in on the edge. So if I get, now they know there's a few. So there we go, look, just 3 pellets. Gone. Oh, told you I'd chip myself. They just hit the water with such force, so just inhale everything. There's a few more again, if you just drop them on their nose. Bosh. And then what tends to happen now is that then brings every single arapaima that's in here. So if you want to get that really fast reaction, it's dropping them right on their noses. And most of them disappeared. Oh, no, too quick. It's too quick. So you can see them there. Yeah, see, look at that. Look, it just touches the water in there. So if say for example a snake came slithering across and went to swim across this pool, 100% it's not going to make it. These guys are just going to smash it. You see him down below me now. I was too close to the reeds. There's one. Literally, you see, it's almost the millisecond it hits the water. They're on it. Oh, that's no good. So that's the arapaima of the future. I'll just give them these last few. So let's carry on our walk round. See what else we can see. So swim-wise, we've got Sala 1 and Sala 2 here. Back to the cookery school, massage. And then round this corner with Salas 3 to 8. Now they don't open every single swim. It's a bit too tight round here. So you'll notice that there are gaps as I'm walking round, because I never like to fill every single swim. You know, these fish are powerful. And there's not much that you can do to stop them if they want to go charging around the lake, excuse me. So go around the corner here, and the first one it goes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then back out to 9 and 10 where I was the other day. So we'll just have a quick walk through here, not disturbing many people. Yeah. That's 3 and 4. And then we got 5.
And here's one of the, so actually this is pointing around. So there's one of the weigh stations here. So they don't weigh every fish here, but they do, if we've got something that's particularly big, they will attach a set of scales to those, and then you can, I've got some really huge slings where they can actually weigh fish accurately here. As I said, they do have the calculation that they do based on length and girth. But if they want to get an even more accurate assessment, then they've got these weigh stations, which obviously need to be fairly robust. So and we've got silos 6, 7 and 8 here, and a man wearing a skirt. How are we doing, boys? All right? I like your dress. So there's 7 and silo 8 is here. Then we're going to go back round the corner to 9 and 10. So if you remember a couple of days ago, I was in 10. We've got toilets here, so even though we are the other side of the lake from everything else, they've got toilets here. That's the storeroom where all the stuff goes at night and gets locked away, so everything's nice and safe. And then we come back round through here. And then we've got 9 and 10. And then after we pass 10, we'll turn right and we'll be back at the little lake. So again, not going to disturb too many people as we walk through. Just a quick look at each swim as I go past. Silo 9. And the last one, which is one of my favourites, which is Silo 10, where I was not so long ago. And Silo 10. So, round the corner, we have the little lake where we were earlier. So we'll have a quick look at that. You can see here the get out of the way. You see the drainage that goes on here, the irrigation. We've got pumps going. So yeah, a lot of effort, a lot of time and effort was put into, just quickly show you, just a lot of time and effort about understanding how to get rid of the water once it gets a lot of it. So yeah, plenty of drainage. There's the pea green, obviously that bit where I was earlier, where we've had a bit of fish activity is now cleared, but it would need some people to fish on here for that algae to go. But that was the little lake again. Oh, I never tire of that view. Never tire of that. So then we start to see a house up there. Now that's the owner's son lives there. That used to be the old cookery school and massage place. But now Sean lives in there with the wife and 2 kids. And we'll go around to Stuart's house. He's not here at the moment, so when Stuart's not here, he does actually rent his house out, so you can actually stay in his house as well. And when I show you Stuart's house, you'll understand why that's a popular location. Look at the old waterfall coming down from the house, looking lovely. So we'll carry on walking around here. We're walking down the bay where I was yesterday, so I was fishing a little bit further up, but then fishing down into that corner, as you may well remember. So, oh, got a stone in my flip-flop. So we'll walk down here. Try and be a bit quiet, because it's not the kind of part of the lake where you want to be making a load of noise. There is a paddle going full steam ahead. Obviously, keeping the oxygen levels high in the water is something they need to do here. So yeah, you've got aerators submerged in the bed of the lake. But we've also got these paddles that are going for, I think it's fair to say, for the majority of the day. So you can start to see Stuart's house now in the corner, and yep, you can rent that out when he's not here. Obviously, don't need it. Something that size just for me. So it can get a little bit noisy as we go past the paddle and the generator that drives it. So you can see now, so I was fishing there yesterday, so bringing one all the way along and under that tree there was my inside rod, if you like. And then we'll keep away from the water's edge and hush it down a bit, because the guys will be fishing underneath these trees here, and the Gillhams like to get in under here, as we found out yesterday. So we'll quickly pass through here, and yeah, on to Stuart's. Trees here are fabulous. Such a diverse range, very different to plants in the UK. So this is Stuart's, and we have the garden pond. So swimming pool's up there. Garden pond here. Unfortunately, I've run out of pellets, so I won't be feeding anybody in here. And then we are slowly working our way back round to the accommodation to complete the lap. And actually, you can see there's a fish just in there. Looks like tilapia or something like that. So what we do, again, instead of going down past all the anglers, this will join up round the back of the accommodation all again. And what we've got here, this is the villa. So we've got a 3-bedroom villa here, and they've got their own pool here as well. Again, available for rent. So you've got effectively 3 accommodation options. You've got the standard accommodation, you've got the 3-bedroom villa, and you've got Stuart's gaff when he's not here. So this has always amazes me. So you see things like this, which is a member of the snake plant family, grown in the UK and kept in houses. And everything's outside here. It's bonkers. And here we come back to the back of the accommodation. So you can see that all the accommodation is lettered and numbered, so it's always 1 and 2. So you've got G1, G2, and the swims in the front correlate with the accommodation behind. So if you're in swim A1 but you're in accommodation F1, you know that your accommodation is back down at a different part. So I've gone full circle, and I'm now back in my accommodation, which is E2. Funny enough, I stayed in E2 the last time I was here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the camera off. I'm going to go and have some lunch. And that is pretty much all I plan to show you. There's not really that much more I can show you. So I will wrap it up there. Thanks for watching once again. Hope it's been informative as well as enjoyable, watching some of those crazy fish fights. It won't be long until I'm back out again on my fishing adventures. So look after yourselves, stay warm, and I'll see you again soon.